Is this class as good as the 2020 class? I think that's a tough call because I think the 2020 class was it was pretty top heavy and there were some, gems here and there. This one is extremely deep. I don't know if it's nearly as top heavy as the last season's, but I mean, I guess time will tell. But I'm going to give you my wide receiver rankings. If you want to see the full rankings, you go to ftfn.com. The link's in the description as well. It's the pinned comment if you want to check that out. Go ahead and do so. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Costs you nothing, and it means the world to me. So go and do that. Also, leave a thumbs up and go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let's have some good civil football discourse. And yeah, because I mean, a lot of people are going to have a lot of different opinions about this wide receiver class, but I don't think there's any wrong answers. I mean, there might be, but because everyone's got their take, good takes, bad takes. So there's no wrong answers, there's just bad takes. There we go. So I'm going to give you my top 10 because those guys are I have all second round grades on them, but I do have, let's see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 wide receivers with third round grades. So I'm going to go over those with you because I know a lot of y'all probably want like a top 15 or whatever, but I'm just going to give you a quick little view of who I have with third round grades. So you're going to get all my day 2 and day 1 guys in this video. So I got Tutu Atwell from Louisville. Dude's basically high-end gadget player, really. Trey Walker from San Jose State. Got Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. I have Sage Surratt from Wake Forest. He did opt out this season, and he might be a tad slow, but he's also one of the most. He's just a very good contested catch receiver. He's a really darn good route runner. Tamari and Terry out of Florida State because I still believe in the talent. A sucker for Terry. And then Jalen Darden out of North Texas. This guy gives me Tyreek Hill vibes to an extent. Tyreek Hill-esque vibes, I should say. Probably more Darnell Mooney. I think that's a more fair comparison. Definitely. But let's go ahead. Let's get into the top 10. Tylan Wallace out of Oklahoma State. That's right, a second round grade. This guy came out and did wonders for his draft stock because I think part of it last year was going to probably fall into day 3 just because of the injury, unable to do really anything in the off-season process. So he came back still a little on the light side for a 6-footer. But this guy, very physical at the catch point. As you can see, this guy makes highlight reel catch after highlight reel catch downfield. He actually does get pretty good separation. Former track star, guy's just a speedster. But the one area I didn't expect to see him improve at, and it's through no fault of his own, was to see more of an expanded route tree. Because Oklahoma State, their offense, it's not simple, but it's a bit limited in what they ask the receivers to do. It's real slant, screen, go heavy, So they actually were a bit more diverse, and you got to see him run a variety of different routes, which he actually looked pretty good at, man. And, probably the best thing about him, dude's got just strong hands. We talked about the highlight reel catches, but honestly, if you go back in 2018, he had 9 drops, pretty big. If you fall in that 10% drop rate, it's kind of alarming going into the NFL. Well, over the last 2 seasons, he's only had 7 drops over 178 targets. So really good, much improved. I like Tylan Wallace a lot. Rondale Moore out of Purdue at 9. Let's discuss why I have him because I was real high on him before the season. Because I like the guy, dude. Explosiveness, shiftiness. So out the wazoo, I compared him to a Steve Smith with finesse. But let's go over why he's kind of fallen down. Or it's first off size, which I'm like kind of whatever, you know, being 5'9", 180, but also the lack of production on the outside. Like they just don't play him a lot on the outside. Also, small average depth of target. Like, I think for the most part in his career, it was like 7 yards. And I think at one point this season, it was behind the line of scrimmage. So the guys, Purdue, they're really just trying to get the ball in his hands as quickly as possible. So he's not running a variety of different routes. It's just really, man, screens, slants, stuff like that underneath. So a bit limited there. There are injury concerns. There are. And then the lack of forced missed tackles this season. Only 3 on 35 receptions. It's not exactly what I've expected, but his yards after the catch, like, he's got a lot of moves there where it's like tacklers don't even come close. It's not fair to say he was low on the forced missed tackles this season, but again, like, those concerns, I think there's just too many concerns there to make him a first rounder. So I got him here in the second. I love the prospect. That's why he's in my top 10. So on to Amon-Ra St. Brown out of USC. This is a guy I really kind of want to put higher on my list. It's a good receiving class, so it's kind of tough. But he primarily functioned from the outside this season, which was great to see because normally he was exclusively in the slot. So I was glad to see him on the outside, and he looked great at it. No real other way to say it. There's no weak part to his game. He's one of the best route runners in this draft class. He displays a good shake before and after the catch. He's shown to be a good deep threat and contested catch target. He showed that in 2019 from the slot. If anything else, you know, he was like 5 of 6 touchdowns came on passes of 20 yards or more, and then he was 5 of 6 on contested catches on passes of 20 yards or more. But the thing is with St. Brown is, opposed to the guys I have ahead of him, like, there's not one trait that makes him stick out that he could really, I guess the term a lot of people use, hang their hat on, you know? He's a very good all-around receiver, and I feel like that should make him a first rounder, man. Like, I've really struggled with him. I really struggled not having him ahead of the next two, but I don't know. It's really tough. So, you know, if you think he should be higher, I don't disagree. Kadarius Toney coming here next. He had a hot season. He's literally been fun to watch with 70 receptions, 977 yards, 10 touchdowns with 20 forced missed tackles. Insane. He also had 19 carries for 161 yards with 1 touchdown, 7 forced missed tackles. Almost half of his total yards came after contact. This guy's just tough to bring down. He's scary in space. He actually creates really good separation underneath, and he just honestly be a scary weapon for any offensive minded coach. So that's the thing with Kadarius Toney, man. You don't know exactly if he's slot only. I mean, he brings great return skills as well. So, like, is he a guy maybe you could throw at running back? Like, he's a very, very interesting prospect. Chris Olave. Nailed it that time. Hopefully. At Ohio State, I was a bit skeptical putting him this high. Like, I've even considered putting him back in the first round talk, but it's just like he doesn't have game changing speed. He is a bit on the thin side, but I mean, being an Ohio State product or prospect, you know, he's among the most polished route runners in this draft. He is. Guy's got great body control, good separation. Might be one of the best receivers that operate in the sidelines. But again, he won't provide much after the catch. He only has 136 yards after contact and only 4 broken tackles. So there is a bit Davante Adams to his game as far as how he is as a technician. Is that enough to put him in the first round? You would say, well, if you're comparing him to Davante Adams, I'm comparing parts of his game to Davante Adams. So commentate and chill. So I don't know. I'm gonna sit here with the second round grade, fringe first. But after this, man, everyone's first rounders. Terrace Marshall Jr. out of LSU. He opted out for the remainder of the season. But the guy's got legit speed for his size, being 6'3", 200 pounds. He's displayed after the catch ability this season, which was big. You didn't really see that last season, though. He was kind of more of a first down getter, red zone type of threat in the 2019 offense that had both Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. So we got to see a bit more after the catch ability. Because he was playing in the Justin Jefferson role. Basically, he was lined up in the slot. LSU, they like to put their best receivers, I guess, in the slot there. So yeah, he was playing that role. The one thing is, he did have 7 drops this season, which isn't pretty. You don't want to see that, because it was only on how many? I think it was 67 targets. But the year before, he only had 2 drops on that same amount of targets. So I think the difference is, I guess, the amount of games he saw those targets in. So now he's seeing more of a volume of targets. So maybe his hands are actually a lot worse than we think. Maybe not. I'm willing to bet that they get better, that this year was maybe an outlier. We'll see, but I hope it's nothing to worry about. He primarily played on the outside in 2019, which is important to say, and he handled press with relative ease probably in 2019 in a much tougher SEC defensively. This year, the SEC's defenses weren't exactly great. Big combine for this kid. Could really shoot him up boards, much like we saw with Justin Jefferson. And I mean, just looking at what he did his rookie season, Marshall might be a name that moves up boards quite a bit. So be interesting to see. Rashod Bateman here at 4 out of Minnesota. He opted out for the remainder of the season, as well as Minnesota was kind of like using him primarily in the slot in 2020. Again, I guess that's just where they put their best receivers. That's where Tyler Johnson spent last season, while Rashod Bateman was on the outside. But again, this is a guy that can do it from the inside, from the outside. He gets some of the best separation in this class, and it's not because of his speed. He just wins with shiftiness and body control, route running. Like, this guy, he just creates space. And he's a solid red zone threat. You can, like I said, he could do it from the inside, the outside. And when I say he's not like, he probably has CeeDee Lamb speed, so we're talking like 5'4", 5'4". I think he's in that range. Great size. So Rashod Bateman's a great talent. It'll be interesting to see where these receivers go. Then I have Jalen Waddle at 3. I really wanted to put him at 2 so bad. Again, I don't know if the injury really brought him down for me, though. I mean, broken ankle or not, this guy's special with the ball in his hand. Speed, explosiveness, short area quickness. Basically all says, slot receiver in the NFL when you're a 5'10", 182. Doesn't mean you can't win on the outside, because we saw him win on the outside this season. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Before he went down with the injury, he was actually outperforming DeVonta Smith through the first 4 games with less volume, which was very interesting to note. He's going to run in like the low 4.3s, at least that's what's expected. And it sounds like he should be able to run, because he was trying to come back to Alabama this season after going down. So I'm assuming he'll probably be ready for the combine, at least a pro day maybe. But on top of that, through his career, dude, he's 10 of 15 uncontested catches. The dude's got return skills. Honestly, should be a top 15 pick. The guy's really good. DeVonta Smith is my number 2, though. The issue with Smith is his thin frame at 175. A lot of people could assume, will that translate to the NFL? Because the best parts of his game, it's kind of like his clean releases, him being physical at the catch point. Essentially, it's his physicality. Will that translate at 175? Can he put on weight? I think I'm willing to bet it does. He's just very good. Great hands. He only has 8 drops, over 284 targets. Phenomenal. He's put up absurd numbers this season with 98 receptions for 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns. He's got 9 forced missed tackles. Just putting up a banger of year. I think he deserves this 2 spot. But again, I'm kind of sweet on Jalen Waddle, so we'll see. Ja'Marr Chase, of course, is number 1, and if you don't think he is, there's probably nothing I can say to you to change your mind. He simply is. He didn't need the 2020 season. People will probably forget that through 14 games, in 2019, he had 84 receptions for almost 1,800 yards, 20 touchdowns with 22 forced missed tackles. The guy was a contested catch machine. The guy was better than Justin Jefferson. And Justin Jefferson was playing the Justin Jefferson role. That was the thing. That's where, like, in the slots where they kind of put their best receivers. Ja'Marr Chase outperformed Justin Jefferson. Just throwing that out there. A lot of people are concerned about his speed. I think he's just fine. He looks fast on the field to me. I mean, in 2019, 24 of his receptions went for 20 yards or more. So just in case you were worried vertically, I don't think you need to be. I think he's the best receiver in this draft, and it would be hard pressed for me to change my mind on that. But I'll leave that to debate for you guys in the comment section below. So that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. But as always, till next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.